Most men don't realize they were in a toxic relationship until they're already broken by it. And that's because it doesn't start with red flags. It starts with things that feel good, intense, meaningful. And that's exactly why you never see it coming. At first, you feel chosen. You feel understood in a way that you haven't felt before, like someone finally gets you. And maybe you're thinking to yourself, this is exactly what I've been looking for my entire life. But then the shift starts and you start second guessing yourself. You start wondering if you're the problem, and no matter what you do, you can't get back to that intense connection you felt in the beginning. So maybe you try harder, you give more, you hope things will change, but they won't. I work almost exclusively with men who didn't see that they were in a narcissistic relationship until it was already too late. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 early warning signs. And stay till the end because I'm going to show you something that will completely change the way you see this relationship. And once you see this, you can't unsee it, okay? So the first early sign is love bombing. And you want to pay attention to this one because it's often mistaken for love. So right off the bat, she's overwhelming you with affection, attention, validation. She's texting constantly. She can't get enough of you. And she looks at you like you're God's gift to the world. And at first, it doesn't feel like pressure. It feels intense, exciting, intoxicating. Everything is happening so quickly, and that's on purpose. She doesn't give you space to step back and evaluate. And if you're being totally honest, you didn't want to slow things down. But here's the thing, speed bypasses your judgment. And another thing that can bypass your judgment is sex. So you'll likely find yourself having sex that's much more intense, primal, and way beyond anything you've experienced before. And this is what I call sex bombing. And that combination of emotional and sexual intensity creates a very powerful association in your brain. Dopamine floods your system. Oxytocin, that bonding hormone, creates a deep emotional attachment, and your brain begins to literally wire itself around her, around how she makes you feel. And because the intensity is so high and so constant, this wiring happens at a speed that would never happen in a normal relationship because your brain is so lit up. An attachment that would normally take years to form is forming in weeks, sometimes days. So by the time she starts to shift, and she will, it's already too late. You're hooked. Because here's what your brain does when someone who used to feel like heaven suddenly starts to treat you like hell. It doesn't update its file on her because the original coding is so strong. So you end up chasing, you shrink, you try harder, you keep reaching for a version of her that no longer exists, or worse, never existed in the first place. Because what she showed you in those early weeks was a carefully constructed experience designed with one specific purpose: to make sure that no matter how bad things get, your brain will keep going back to the highlight reel. That's not love. That's a neurological hostage situation. The second early sign is future faking. So, alongside the love and sex bombing, she starts painting a beautiful picture of your future together. She's talking about trips you're going to take together, places you're going to live, maybe even marriage and kids, and she's saying things like, I just know that you're the one. So, you start planning that future with her at the center of it. But the truth is, those promises were never meant to be kept. That's what future faking is. It's a strategy to get you emotionally invested in a future that doesn't exist. It's just a fantasy fueled by her reflecting your own dreams and desires back to you. And you need to understand this. This isn't unique to you. This is a pattern. It's something she repeats in every relationship to fast track that attachment. So now you're not just attached to her, you're attached to this future, this life, this meaning, this possibility. And once this fake future is locked into place in your brain, you won't just fear losing her. You'll fear losing everything you thought that this relationship was going to give you. So if the picture she is painting for you is too good to be true, it probably is. The third sign of a narcissistic relationship is she activates your protector instincts very early on. And pay close attention to this one because this is the point of no return for many of you. And it's where her hooks get very deep. So pay attention to how she tells stories. When she talks about her exes, is she always the victim? When she talks about her friends or family, is there always conflict, drama, always someone who mistreated or betrayed her? At first, you'll feel sorry for her. You'll think, wow, she's been through so much. And your instinct as a good man is to want to protect her, to be different from all those other horrible people who hurt her, to be the one who finally treats her right, and it feels like you're earning her trust, like she's choosing you to protect her, to see this vulnerable side of her, and you reassure her. You tell her that you're different. You promise to never hurt her or abandon her. And without even realizing it, you make a promise that's going to keep you locked in long after she stops keeping her promises to you. Because now you feel responsible for her and she makes you feel like you're failing her. So you stay, you tolerate more, you try to prove yourself because you're trying to protect your integrity and your identity as her rescuer. And sometimes it seems the more rejection, criticism, or devaluation you get, the more driven you become to prove yourself. It starts to feel like mission impossible. Like if you can just get it right, you'll be able to prove that you're the good man that she believed you were, that you said you were. But here's what you need to understand. If she is always the victim and everyone else is always the villain, that's not bad luck. That's a pattern. And eventually, you'll become the villain in her story too. The fourth sign is the push-pull pattern. So here's where things start to get messy and confusing. Up until now, maybe everything's been amazing. The attention, the affection, the validation, you're all in. You're attached. You're invested. And then one day, she pulls back. Maybe she goes quiet for a day or two. Maybe she becomes distant or cold for no apparent reason. Maybe she was warm and loving yesterday and today she's short with you, distracted, indifferent, or angry. Maybe she's claiming that you did something to make her feel emotionally unsafe. Now she's not so sure about you anymore, and your immediate reaction is, what did I do wrong? How can I fix this? And that's the point. That's the purpose. Because what just happened isn't random. It's the classic push-pull pattern that's characteristic of toxic relationships. So first she pulls you in close with all that warmth and affection, and then she creates distance just enough to make you feel uncertain, anxious, like you're maybe losing her. So you chase, you try harder, you become more attentive, more loving, more accommodating, try to fix whatever the problem is, all trying to get back to that feeling you had in the beginning. Get her close again. Get that connection again. And when she comes back, the relief you feel is so overwhelming that it actually strengthens your attachment to her. This isn't an accident. This is a cycle. And every time you go through this cycle, her hooks go a little deeper. The fifth thing is testing your boundaries. In a healthy relationship, boundaries do get tested to a degree and they get negotiated. There can be friction and compromise. So there's two people trying to figure out how to work together. That's normal. Every relationship goes through this. But this isn't what I'm talking about. A narcissist tests boundaries in a much more calculated way. So she's not just bumping against your boundaries accidentally. She's probing them deliberately, systematically. She's assessing exactly how much she can get away with before you push back. And more importantly, whether you'll push back at all. Maybe she does something that crosses a clear line, a clear boundary you set, and then watches to see if you'll call it out or let it go. And when you let it go, maybe because you're just trying to keep the peace, she learned something very important. She learned that she can push your boundaries and move them easily. And that's the trap. You're playing by rules that don't apply to her. The sixth early warning sign is subtle put-downs and criticism. So by this point, you're already hooked, you're attached, you're invested, and you're probably overlooking things that you shouldn't be overlooking. And this is exactly when the subtle put-downs will start. And I want to be really clear about what these look like because they don't come at you like obvious insults. They're much subtler than that. So they come disguised as concern, as vulnerability, as her just trying to be honest with you. Because these subtle put-downs are framed around her feelings and her needs. It's hard to argue with. And if you push back, you look defensive. If you try to explain yourself, you're already losing. If you work harder to meet her standards, you're actually rewarding her bad behavior. So what do? You internalize it. You start believing that maybe she has a point. Maybe you're not showing up the way you should be. Maybe you need to do better. And slowly, almost without realizing it, your confidence starts to tank. You start seeking her approval. You start measuring your worth as a man by whether or not she's satisfied with your performance. That's not a relationship. That's training. And it starts with one small comment that you almost didn't notice. The seventh early sign is micromanaging. And now the monitoring begins. She wants to know where you are at all times, who you're with, why it took so long to reply, why you like that photo, why you're still friends with that person. And your friends are starting to feel like a hassle because she gets so upset when you see them or spend time with anyone else. And your family feels like a source of conflict because she always has issues with someone. Your female colleagues, your hobbies, your solo time, all of it is slowly becoming a problem. And maybe you start canceling plans, you check in more often, you start letting go of relationships and the things you like doing because everything just becomes so complicated and it becomes easier to just isolate yourself to avoid conflict. But then one day you look around and you realize that your world has gotten very small. Maybe you hardly recognize yourself anymore. Maybe you're constantly questioning yourself and you feel like you're always being micromanaged. And despite trying harder, giving more, loving more than you ever have before, you still end up the bad guy. And even then, maybe you still can't let go because there's part of you still thinking that this has to have some kind of meaning. It has to lead somewhere, but it doesn't. You are not moving forward. You're stuck in a loop. And here's the truth, you didn't fail. The relationship was rigged from the start. You are trying to understand and love someone who has never been operating by the same rules as you. Their operating system is different. And I know that's hard to accept because if you accept that, you have to face something uncomfortable. You have to face the fact that you got pulled into something that you didn't see coming, or worse, that you saw parts of it and you didn't protect yourself. But let's be honest, when you meet someone, you assume that they're like you. You assume that they think like you, they feel like you, they care like you, but they don't. And once you see that, everything changes because now you can stop trying to make it make sense. You can stop blaming yourself. You can stop trying to fix something that was never real to begin with. And if there's still part of you that's wondering, did they love me? Just ask yourself this. Of all the people in your life who truly love you, like you know these people love you, what are the chances that they would treat you this way? Exactly, they wouldn't. And once you accept that fact, you can let yourself off the hook. If you need help recovering from this type of relationship, please consider reaching out to a therapist in your area who specializes in narcissistic abuse, and consider my toxic relationship recovery program that I linked below. Okay, so if this video helped you understand what you're dealing with, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe, because this helps me reach other men who need to hear this information.